It is almost Thanksgiving, and it's pretty amazing to me that it's already here. I hope you guys are all doing awesome wherever you are, and thank you so much for taking time to join us live. I encourage you to call in today or write in if you have any questions or comments. I'll give you the phone number if you want to write that down. It's 919-518-9773, or you can write in through Skype to Computers 2K Voice. Call in that way. And on your little screens there, if you're logged in, remember you can sign in with any name. If you want to be known or anonymous, just type in some kind of a nickname or a name, and we can see your live chat. So if you want to ask questions, we encourage you to do that. Um, Today, well, basically last night I was in a dream state. I had some meetings with my angels, and I was connecting with a lot of my soul sisters. And the topic that was being uploaded was connected with clearing ourselves of ego and freeing ourselves of the enslavement of ego. And I like how I was looking at a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer today, and he has a quote where he says that ego is edging God out. And so, edging God out, edging source out, whatever you want to call that. But ego is really, in essence, where you have a part of yourself that is in fear or in separation, and it edges out your divine alignment. It tries to convince you that you don't have what you need, that you're not enough, or that you are better or worse than others. It's always connected to separation and lack. And so today, I just feel very drawn to connect with each of you on how do we free ourselves of the enslavement of ego, and what does that even mean? Like, what is ego? And how do we know if we're identifying with ego or if we're actually identifying with our higher self or our aligned self? And so understanding this is going to create quite a shift when you not only can grasp it intellectually, but when you come into this place where you live in alignment with your source. And so when you're in that vibrational alignment with source, you manifest easily. You draw to you all that you need. You live in a greater state of trust and ease and grace. And it's just as if everything that you needed is just kind of magnetically drawn into your center as you need it. And so life becomes really playful, very magical, and very fun. And I personally feel from my inner knowing that each of us on this planet, each soul, our destiny is to step into that alignment, to really understand how to manifest from a place of alignment with our source, and to realize that we are not separate, that we are actually one with source, and that we are worthy and that we can create and manifest anything we desire. So when we're enslaved by ego, we are operating from a place of, I am what I do. So if you have a job, something that you identify as who you are, you might be a science teacher. And so if you're in ego with that, it's like your entire worth and well being is riding on you being a science teacher, on you being a successful science teacher, on you being accepted and you being, shown respect, the accomplishments that you can acquire. That will all feel very important to you if you're in ego, because it's always an external focus. If you're in your alignment with your source and you're still a science teacher, you will allow everything to come through you. Your teaching will be more easy, it'll be more easy, more graceful, more playful, and you'll open yourself even to higher information that will help you evolve beyond what you can just read or be taught. And so being in alignment is so important for us no matter what our job is. If we're a banker, if we're a mother, a father, if we're a teacher, a doctor, it doesn't matter. But when we're in ego with any of those things, we get into a place of lack and separation, and we get play this inferiority superiority game. So no matter what is going on in your life, you're always competing and comparing with others around you. You're always internally criticizing self or judging self compared to someone else. And vibrationally, it will cause you a lot of suffering. And in fact, if you're in that place and you're around others and behaving in that way, you can create suffering for them as well. You will create disruption in your connections. Instead of create beautiful, loving connections, they will be coming from fear and separation and lack and jealousy, competition. And so as each of us can understand how to free ourselves from that enslavement, because it's been very taught in our culture to, compete, compare from birth. Like you see children when they're very little, they're playing soccer and they're taught to win and to work harder, and you're the best and you got to be better than them. You got to run faster. Oh, you got better grades. Oh, you'll get into that school. You'll be better than they are. When you're in sports, the team's got to kill the other team and slay them and destroy them. And there's all these things that we see as very normal that are actually very dysfunctional, and they're very vibrationally unsettling as far as living in alignment. So when we're in our alignment with our source, we can be happy for everyone and we can have healthy competition, meaning we do our best and we can let others do their best, and we can celebrate our own awareness and our own growth. But there's no need to be dominant over others. There's no need to slay them or destroy them. And so this will help so much in our lives so that we can have more joy, more peace, more sense of purpose, and joy will come from that alignment. So if I, as a teacher, say being a yoga teacher, I was just teaching a yoga training today. So if I am a yoga teacher and I show up and I'm insecure and I'm in ego and I'm not feeling confident, then I will come in and I can be very disrupting to my students because I'm competing with them. I'm trying to be better than them. I'm trying to make them feel inferior to me. This may make me feel temporarily on top, like I'm on a pedestal, but big picture, I'm always working to stay on that pedestal because I'm afraid someone's going to knock me off. So it really doesn't encourage love and genuine connections. It just encourages more competition. And ego is always wanting to take you places where you're in fear, because it's all about lack and separation. It's not about unity and connection. So if I'm a yoga teacher and I enter into the classroom in a state of grace and presence, and I'm here in my confidence, in my center, how may I serve is my focus, then I am not looking inward at self and worrying about what I look like. I'm externally focused on how may I serve these that are in front of me, these humans that have come to me today. And in this state of grace and presence, I'll allow Source to channel through me and guide me perfectly. And the humans that are drawn in that moment will feel very loved. They'll feel connected with. There will be a sense of unity. And this can be very beautiful, an amazing space for healing and for co-creation. So if we can look at that and how am I living my life? So each of you listening, if you can start to be really honest with your self-inquiry and tuning in to what's going on inside of me, how am I feeling today? Am I feeling insecure? Why? What's going on there? What's triggering my ego? And do I choose to focus on the ego and give it more energy? If the mind's going, oh, who do you think you are? You're not as good as them. Do I feed that? Or do I catch it and go, whoa, that's my ego voice. I've been familiar with this before. I'm going to choose to come over here, take a breath, connect with my intuition. I am just as good as anyone. I am just as worthy. I am capable. I am powerful. And I am present. And I am here in my full love and light. Source, channel through me, teach through me, speak through me. How may I serve? And so when we start to learn to live in this way, which will be a day-to-day, moment-to-moment practice, we can really start to embody a more beautiful, blissful experience of life. When we wake up in the morning in ego, we jump out of bed. Oh, I'm going to be late. Oh, I got to get there. I got to kill that guy. I got to beat him in the sales and get more sales than him, or whatever it is. We're driven externally. We're always seeking something out there, chasing the carrot. It could be we want that promotion, or we want recognition, or we want approval, we want more money, we want status, fame. It doesn't matter what it is. Externally, if we're focused there, we'll be very driven and have the ambition to go get stuff, but we'll never really feel satisfied. We'll never really feel that it's enough, because it will never feel enough to fill that emptiness that we're really trying to fill. So if we wake up in the morning and we come from a place of centered connection and presence, we can wake up and be like, whoa, I am alive. That is awesome. How may I serve? I'm excited. I am so grateful to have a breath and to be here again and to have this opportunity to play in this game called life. How may I serve? And then we start to move through our day very presently with our highest truth leading us the whole way. So our heart will guide us, our inner knowing will guide us. We will allow Spirit to channel through us, to speak through us, and we'll live in this state of grace. And it's as if everything, when I was younger and I was in the ego consciousness, I felt everything was hard and a struggle and work, and it was just exhausting. And as I shifted that, I shifted to this place where it's like everything is magical and beautiful and playful and joyous. And it's as if you go from this place where you're so driven for what you need to get to feel enough, to feel this sense of emptiness and that anxiety that you're not enough, you don't have what you need. And you shift to this place where suddenly you have everything you need and you're grateful. You're constantly in a state of gratitude and you're in a state of eagerness and excitement for all the good that's on its way. You can still dream, you can still co-create and play and manifest, but it comes from this space of connection and unity. There's no separation any longer. And in fact, as you make this shift, you manifest everything you want more easily. So why would we want to choose to free ourselves from the enslavement of ego? Well, because it's going to give you everything you truly want. It's going to help you realize you already are enough, you already are worthy, you already are capable, and it's going to help you to leave all that suffering behind so that you can really enjoy the now and you can really create beautiful, loving connections. So imagine if every one of us, even just every one of us watching today and connecting together, imagine if every one of us actually did this work, and it's not really hard work, it's just awareness. Imagine if we all consciously chose from this moment on to kind of steer away from ego habit and to come into this place of presence and to trust and to love and to share and to give and to come from this space of how may I serve. Imagine how that's going to shift your world and everyone who connects with you, how it's going to shift their world, how you're living in that alignment is going to inspire them just from your vibrational presence of alignment. You will teach them through your aligned example. So imagine the power of that. And if we can start that and we ignite this energy and our intention grows and grows, picture the entire planet of people realizing they're all good enough. They're all worthy. They're all capable. They're all powerful. And there will be a shift for our collective consciousness where we'll no longer be celebrating victimization or celebrating slaying others and hurting them. Everything will begin to shift where we will really want the best for our fellow man and for our animals and our nature and all the things around us. We will honor and show reverence for everything in our life when we're in that state of grace and that state of presence. And so imagine the difference on the planet where right now we can see the collective is very focused on ego and competition. And look what it's doing. Look at what that consciousness has created on this planet for a long time. A lot of war, a lot of destruction, a lot of enslavement, and a lot of suffering. And we each are here with our awake awareness right now watching. If you're here, there's enough awareness in you to really understand what I'm saying and to choose to shift. Now, will you choose to shift? That is something on its own, a total different subject. But will it benefit you to? Absolutely, it will. So I'm going to pause for a second and see if we have any comments or questions coming in.
Not yet.
Okay. So if you guys have anything, write in. And always, like I say, if anybody wants to call in, first caller, I will do a live angel reading for today. So if you want to call in to get a reading, I encourage you to do that. If you have any feedback, share it on the live chat. Just tell us, where are you seeing that you're struggling with ego? Where is it that you feel that you're strong or maybe vulnerable in that area? And then share some feedback with us. So getting on to teaching yoga today. I was working with the students and we were talking about, I've got my little notebook here that I was going to reference to. I was kind of talking to them about the 8 limbs of yoga and kind of the classical, where the classical approach of yoga came from with the Yoga Sutras. And in here, I'm just going to read you the 8 limbs that as they're represented. And what I was explaining to the students is that when we're doing yoga, we're on our mat, we're practicing asana, we're practicing our pranayamic breathing, we're practicing our meditative presence. The ultimate goal is not just to be on the mat and to master the greatest down dog that we can, or to sit there and be very present and peaceful on the mat and then jump off the mat and get in traffic and have road rage and freak out about that there's not enough time. The ultimate reason we step on the mat and we're practicing yoga is to cultivate this awareness so that we can learn that we can move through life in a moving meditation. And so, really, the whole present, the reason I love yoga and love teaching about yoga and meditation is that it really helps to liberate souls out of ego. It helps to clear the ego, clear that competitive habit that they've been conditioned in, and help them to come home to self. Help them to realize, I might have a student come in and they've not connected with their breath or their body all day. I may have a student come in and be like, oh my God, I have a soul. I didn't even really think about that because they've been so driven by their physical form or their mental intellect that they didn't even comprehend the soul aspect of themselves. And so the highest reasons that we would practice would be to teach us how to embody this off the mat so that if I'm in the line at the airport, I'm not freaking out and stressed. I am connected to my breath. I'm gently rocking back and forth and I'm patiently waiting. And this is my practicing yoga in a moving meditation. The union of breath and movement is everything we do. So yoga is not just asana or postures. It's really how we can live our life. It's a way that we can move with a moving meditation through our lives in a way that brings us joy, peace, and it's also a way that we reflect that joy and that peace outward to others. So the 8 limbs of yoga are yama, which are the 5 virtues or restraints that govern our relationship with others and the world. So there's ahimsa, which is non-injury. So that means if I'm focused in my alignment, I wish to harm none. I look outside of myself and just say, how may I show honor to all those in my life today? How can I help others? So if my focus is ego-centered, then it's all about how are they going to serve me? What's in it for me? What are they getting from me? Who's taking advantage of me? What about me? What about me? This is ego. It's like a little toddler having a tantrum all the time. And it doesn't matter if you're a toddler or if you're 80 years old, if you're totally taken over by ego, you're basically behaving and living like a toddler that has not learned how to control their own energy or to show honor to others. So basically, non-injury. We don't want to look out and try to hurt others. How can I show honor? My highest intention is not so much if others are going to take advantage of me, but let me make sure I take advantage of none. So this would be a higher state of living. Our truthfulness, our satya, is truthfulness. So how can I be a vessel of truth? If I am speaking my truth, if I am living my truth, I'm living with authenticity, I'm living with integrity, then truthfulness will become very natural. But if I'm telling people I'm going to do things and then I don't do them, I'm going to create suffering for myself and them. And this starts to throw you out of alignment. And now you're in ego. You start to manipulate. You start to be like, oh, why are they trying to get after me for money? Even though you told them you were going to pay them back for something and you didn't do it. And now they're asking you and you're getting angry. So things like that, where we show no integrity, it starts to create suffering back and forth. So we want to be truthful. Asteya means non-stealing. So stealing not just physical things, but are we stealing other people's energy? Are we stealing other people's time? Are we trying to steal their thunder? We're trying to steal the spotlight. We want to make sure that we're in this place of non-ego, meaning that we will honor and let others be who they are. We will let them shine and we'll celebrate that shine as we also shine. So there's no stealing of anything. We don't need to take energy from our wife because we're angry and we feel insecure. We realize we need to go meditate and really recharge ourselves and reconnect with our source so that we are in a place of ease and trust. And now we can share that instead of feel like we have to steal that energy from someone else. Our godlike conduct, or our alignment with source, as I like to call it, means that we live in integrity. We live in alignment. We really care about having integrity. It matters a lot, and we make sure we're choosing it. And this will take us out of ego, because if we're in integrity, we're living with that high honor, we really won't be stimulated by ego because it no longer serves us, and we know that. And then non-clinging. So this is where if we're in a relationship, we love someone, we're not clinging to them, we're not attaching to them, and then saying it's because we love them, so that's why we're controlling them. we actually love them and we open our hands and we love with open energy. We're not sticky with our love. We don't have, maybe we have clients and we're afraid, what if we don't get enough clients? So we try to hook them and trick them and codependently attach to them. This is not really living in the highest alignment. And ultimately, as more souls wake up, they will be on to what you're doing and it really won't serve you. And many of us that get into that ego place, maybe we got away with that for a while, but I feel as more and more are waking up, you're really not going to get away with that much longer. And in fact, it can go very counterproductive to what you're wanting. So it'd be better to really honor souls. Kind of think of like a personal trainer, and if they're in alignment, they want to teach you how to exercise and how to eat healthy in a way that will empower you. They're going to teach you the tools so that you can put them into practice. Like a healer, like myself, I'm going to teach them, help them, guide them, but it's up to them to choose it. If I was out of alignment and you have a healer that's out of alignment, they're going to try to codependently attach to you, make you feel as if you can do nothing without them, set you up to where they don't quite teach you what you need to know and you always have to keep coming back. That's not really coming from the highest alignment, and it will start to create a level of mistrust. And so what I found is the more truthful and the more I have integrity, the more honest and helpful, how may I serve in my energy I am, the more it creates these beautiful relationships that over the big picture will take care of my needs and will take care of their needs. So there's really no sense of separateness or lack. And that's why abundance will be generated between the two energies that are participating with each other. And then I'll go through Nimayama is just the observances of one's own appearance, actions, words, and thoughts. So this is where we start to really become aware, self-aware. What is going on inside of Tawnya? What is Tawnya feeling? Why do I feel insecure? Why am I feeling exhausted? I take all that responsibility inside and I don't lash out and project on others. This is a huge sign of a soul that's shifting out of ego because they're now really focused inside to what's going on in them. They're very focused on their self-inquiry, their self-growth. And so that's going to be very powerful for them. The devotion or the surrender to the divine. This is where we get into the how may I serve, thy will be done. We really know that we put out to the universe what it is we'd like to create, but we allow whatever's for our highest good to come in, and we trust that everything we need is on its way. We leave that world of fear and lack and competition, and we enter a state of grace and presence, and we just trust, and we flow, and we look for the doors of opportunity, and when they open, we walk through them. We don't procrastinate, we don't go into fear and self-worth and lack. We step forward and we trust and we flow. And this is when harmony and beautiful magic starts to happen. And every one of you listening has the ability to live this way or to live in ego. This is a choice. And then we get into asana. The asana part of yoga is where we're actually bringing firmness and strength to the body, the physical body, the postures that we practice. So these are just the asana is just the postures of the practice of yoga. Pranayama is when we start to connect with the breath and we start to learn how to master the life force, the prana, the chi, that energetic life force that's externally coming towards us and filling us with life is going to be something that we can master through our breathing. And so if some of you tuning in today, just take a few, close your eyes and take a few centering breaths. And what we call in yoga, Ujjayi breath, it's kind of like an ocean-like breath. Sounds kind of like it's like ocean waves in and out. This is very calming to your nervous system, and it's very stimulating to the immune system. And I like to look at Ujjayi breath as kind of like when a cat purrs. Cats don't have to purr. I don't know if you all know that, but cats actually choose to purr, and they purr to self-soothe. So when the cat's like doing their thing, I'm not that great at it, but when they do that little vibrational thing with their voice, they're actually soothing their own energy, and it's very calming to them, and they choose to do it. So when we're in Ujjayi breath, and it's kind of like ocean-like breath where we feel the vibration in our throat and we create sound with our breath, in through our nose, out through our nose. This is just like a cat purring. It starts to soothe the nervous system. It's very calming. And with my students, I will just have them do this for a couple minutes. And then I tune in and say, how are you feeling? And they're just like, I feel so calm and I feel so centered right now. And what I show them is that they don't have to do it for an hour. It can truly just be for a few minutes in your car when you're road raging and the traffic is a jam and you can't move and you're not in charge of the universe. So you could sit there and pound your fist on the horn and just flip out like a toddler. Or you could take a breath and you could just connect with your breath and be very present in your body, which could benefit the cells of your body. It's slowing down the aging process. It's actually stimulating the immune system. It's helping your body be stronger. And so, in this space of ease, we can really learn that we can do this stuff in our day to day. It doesn't just be go to the mat, do your yoga, go back outside, road rage. So, we really want to start to embody this energy where we're flowing with grace and ease, and we're learning that all these things we're learning are not just to be learned intellectually, but to actually be embodied so that we live them with our alignment. We live and we move in a moving meditation. The next is pratyahara, which is the withdrawal of the senses, the mind, and the consciousness from the outside world. So as we're breathing in meditation and we close the eyes, we're going inward, we're connecting with self, we're connecting with our breath. We start to tune out of the external world. We're not so focused on what's going on out here with our friends or that noise that just went by. We start to really let it all just be, and we come into this state of being receptive and still. And this is a very powerful place for us creatively. The next step is dharana, is focused concentration. So here is when we start to concentrate. And I kind of tell the students, it's like when our minds are not at ease, they're kind of like wavy ocean water. But when we come into the state of concentration in our breath and our meditation, it's like the water becomes this clear, still pond. And then when spirit starts to bring us information, it's like a droplet hits that clear pond and it ripples out into your consciousness. And we start to be very receptive to the impressions that are coming in. So healers like myself that are tuned in and that they're very intuitive and they're picking up on things, the magic that we really have is that we have learned to master our concentration and our stillness of mind. So we become so awake and aware that we are just like that clear pond, and that impression comes in and we tune in and listen to it. So you become a really great listener. When you get into the next step of meditation, dhyana, this is when we're going into this place where we're withdrawing into the consciousness of the soul. So now I can start tuning into other realms of esoteric information that in my conscious state, if I'm too busy, angels can be talking to me, signs could be coming in. I might have a spirit, like a brother or sister that passed away in spirit, or a grandfather, and they're coming and they're trying to help me. And if I'm in that wavy ocean energy, I'm not picking up on any of it. And then I just tell the world that that stuff's not real because I'm not calm and clear enough to sense it. So it's not that it's not real or that spirits aren't nearby or that angels aren't helping and bringing us messages. They're always helping us. They're always communicating. And the universe is always in a state of communication and evolution. It's just that we're not open and receptive to hear and to pick up on it because of the mind chatter, because of the stress, because of the ego's need to keep us separate. So as we get to that place where we choose to come into that consciously, this is where we start to realize I'm a soul. Oh my gosh, I'm way bigger than this body. I am way bigger than my mind. I am powerful. I am getting information from angels. I am getting warnings of premonitions. I am picking up on information and solution to this question. And I'm getting it because I am so awake and aware, and I'm tuning into higher consciousness. And it's available to all of us if we just start to practice listening. And the last state is called samadhi, or it's ecstasy. And this is what many talk to as nirvana or bliss. And that's when you start to get to that place that you are so in your relaxation of meditation, you are so in a state of beingness that you're no longer feeling that you need to be doing anything. And so that means we go from this place where we think that we're just physical and we need to make things happen physically, and we can get into that place vibrationally where I am everything in the universe. I am energy, and I feel as if my body lifts out, or my spirit lifts out of my body, and I'm just floating in energy. This place of creation, what I like to call the conscious creation space when we're in meditation, is the most powerful thing, the most powerful place that you will ever enter consciously. Because when we enter that state of consciousness, we can draw to us everything we desire. We don't any longer identify with, oh, that stuff I want is out there and I have to go get it. We come here in stillness and we call it all in. What I call the art of calling it forth. We start to call forth the magic, the money, the helpers, true love, all the support, all the honor, all the reverence, all those things we desire. We call it into our center. And I like to tell students it's kind of like, imagine your core is like this metal rod, and source is like the electrical bolt that comes down and it electrifies and energizes you. And all the things you desire are like metal shards that cannot help but be drawn magnetically to your center. So when you're looking at life as everything's out there away from me and it's hard to get it, it's like taking a north facing magnet and a north facing magnet and you're pushing them together and they cannot come together because you believe they're separate. If you flip it around and you are the metal beam, that magnetic core, and everything you desire is the shards, they come in. And you just let them come in, let them come in, let them come in until there's nothing left to wish to come in. And then you release it to the universe and you allow. And this is where we really start to live in the state of trust and gracefulness because we realize we can't make it happen externally, but we can vibrationally claim it now. And then we allow the process of manifestation to happen in the physical realm where we take that vibrational alignment and we give it a little time to manifest here in the physical dimension. Because it does sometimes take a little time and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can manifest just like that. But if it does take a little time, if we know that and we're patient, we can just call it in. And then next day in meditation, we call it in. We continuously see it as it's one of us, it's part of us, it's not separate, and it cannot help but show up. So when we get into like, why would it be important to practice our yoga understanding and practice meditation? And why would it be important to release ourselves from ego enslavement? I would say, why would we choose to ever go there again is the more aligned question. Because each of you living your life right now, when you've been in ego, you know you're suffering. You know that it's not rewarding. You know that it constantly keeps you in a state of separation and fear. So it's up to you to either have the awareness to say, I'm going to keep choosing that because I just want to do it. I like suffering. I like competition. I like it to be hard. And so I'm going to do it. Or I'm stubborn and I don't want to change. At least be honest. But if you realize that it's not serving you and it's not really helping in any way, and it's in fact maybe hurting relationships in your life, or it could be causing, trouble in your finances or in your health, start to be open enough to choose a shift. And all it takes is to start looking for the alignment, looking for the miracles. Go to meditation teachers that you feel are in alignment and trust. Go to their classes, show up each week, show up and be accountable and give time for your soul. Like really carve out time in your week, what I call sacred soul time, where you honor the soul's need for connection and you go around those who are of high vibration that are guiding you and leading you in that alignment. If you don't and you say, oh, I would love to go there, but I can't afford it or I don't have time or yada, 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 really you're choosing not to go towards solution and you're choosing to stay stuck in the problem. And that is a choice. And so if you start to really pay attention to that choice and why would I choose to go counter to what would really help me, it could be very liberating for you. So I'm going to pause and see if there's any feedback or anything coming in.
No,
Anything?
no, they're all just sitting back. I even ask if none of them wants a free reading and nothing.
Okay. Well, there it is in listening mode. That's
They're
okay.
just soaking it.
That's right. So when we were talking about ego, so the ego, it identifies with what you have and who you are. It identifies with your accomplishments, like what have I achieved? How many Grammys did I win? Can't talk. It identifies with your job, like what is it I do? Am I superior because I'm this or that? And so it's always going to be triggered to those things. If we're connecting to ego, we're going to be stimulated by things in a very external way. But if we're coming from our soul's alignment, we can still have jobs that are very fulfilling that we love, but we know that we're not just that job. We could have a relationship we love and adore, but we know if that relationship leaves us or shifts, we're still fine because we're one with source, and whatever is leaving is for the highest good. Its time has come, and whatever is for the highest good for us now is on its way. So it really is such a beautiful shift because it takes us out of fear, it takes us out of a need to control, it takes us out of lack and suffering. And I can't underestimate how beautiful it will be when each of you choose it if you haven't already, because it will change everything in your world. It will, your life will suddenly become so magical and so fulfilling and rewarding simply from your own shift in perspective and your own shift in alignment. And so I'm going to read a page from Getting into the Vortex that I opened up to today.
Before you go
Yep.
to read,
Yes.
Kathy's saying, with Thanksgiving near, any comments on gratitude?
What's that?
With Thanksgiving near, any
Mm-hmm.
comments on gratitude?
Well, if we remember how we've talked about this in the past with vibrational alignment, gratitude is like the catapult to launch you forward in your vibrational alignment. So when we come together for Thanksgiving, we have some actually really kind of honestly messed up ways that it all happened in our country, but we kind of celebrate it as this time of gratitude and honor. And so when we come together with family, this can actually be such a great test for each of you this week, because when we come together with our family, we often will be challenged with ego. We'll be challenged with attachments to roles and titles. How do we live and behave when grandma shows up? We haven't seen, mom in a while, and now when I'm around her, I suddenly go into child mode, even though I'm 40 years old. So Thanksgiving and holiday times can be very stressful to a lot of people because they're in this fear of that happening. They're in fear of the control or the ego or the family battles and dynamics that can happen. So, when you're entering this year, if each of you can just practice some meditation and calmness before you go to your family's events and really make a contract and agreement with yourself that as I enter, I'm going to enter with a state of grace and presence. I'm going to enter and I'm going to look out with the eyes of how may I serve? How may I really listen to and honor those who connect with me instead of who's going to be listening to me and what if they do this to me and what if they don't appreciate what I do, which will start the energy in that way. So if we're focused on that, we will create drama instantly. People will enter the house and they'll just feel like grandma's pissed already because she's expecting everyone to not be appreciative of her. So if we can all practice being very in our power, be present, peaceful, and focused on how may I serve, how may I show honor, this could be one of the best Thanksgivings you ever had. And I would say that every day is a day for Thanksgiving, not just one day of the year. If we all started to practice, what if we did a game where from now until next Sunday, every one of us posts 5 things we're grateful for on Facebook. We write in our journal at the end of the day 5 things we're grateful for. At the dinner table, my family and I play this game where sometimes they get irritated by it, but it's just, I know I'm helping them. And so I'll be like, hey guys, what's everybody grateful for today? Like, what are you grateful for? What did you appreciate today? And then my kids will kind of think about it. And sometimes they're silly and just say silly things. And sometimes it really opens up some deeper connections of what's going on inside of them. So we can do these things at home with our families, like practice the gratitude game in your own journals, getting to know what you're grateful for. When you're focused on your gratitude, when you're focused on all the abundance and what you already have, you are a magnet pulling more in. So the people that seem to always be in lack and they're always suffering and they're always barely getting by and they're always complaining, notice most of these people are complaining and they're always talking about their lack and they're never focused on abundance. This is the magical ingredient to manifestation, and manifesting what you want is gratitude. So what Kathy's saying, absolutely powerful. But is it just for one day of the year? Because the white people came over and took the land from the Native Americans. Sorry, I don't mean to mock Thanksgiving, but there's a lot about it that I think is kind of messed up. But the tradition of gratitude, we can have this every day. We can show honor to the earth, show honor to each other, show honor to our families, show honor to ourselves. Say no this week. How about this whole week? Someone asks you something and you don't want to do it, you have the courage to say no. How about you start to stop committing to things that you really don't want to do, and you start saying yes to the things you really want to do? Because this is a way we betray ourselves, and we don't live in, whereas like living in our truthfulness, we lie and betray ourselves because we do things for others out of guilt and obligation instead of out of heartfelt desire. So, what if this week we focus on 5 things we're grateful for? I will do it on Facebook. I will do it in my journal. I'll motivate and get everyone on my in my yoga classes to participate if they want to. And what if we really set that intention to come from that space of gratitude and to start paying attention to our alignment and to start paying attention to our integrity and saying no and saying yes only when it's true. And some of you, I just had 2 clients in the last 2 days that came for ORC clearings, and both of them were struggling with how they would just let people do things and they wouldn't say no because they were just kind of uncomfortably comfortable with the habit of just, okay, I guess that's going to happen. But they didn't really want it to happen and they just go along with it. And if you do this long enough, you start to feel kind of pissed off at yourself and at others because really you need to be clear with what really matters to you. If you're really tired and you don't want to hang out with your friend, don't give that heartfelt commitment to, yeah, I'm going to hang out with you no matter what. And then after work, you're tired and then you feel like you have to go and you're not even having fun with them or present because you're only there out of obligation. What if we started to shift this? This is what I told the clients I was talking to is instead of saying yes to something, when someone asks you, hey, it's the holiday time, so this is a great time to practice. Someone's like, hey, Tawnya, can you come to this party? And I'm like, ooh, like I've got 3 different party invitations and I've got a lot going on. So if I already know that, right away, you know it. Your intuition tells you, like, ooh, the best way you can answer is, you know what? That sounds like a lot of fun, and let me just see how things flow. And if I'm able to come, I would be so happy to come. That is the best way you could answer because you're really truthfully allowing for flow. Then, when you get out of your day, you're done with your work day, and you're like, wow, I actually feel pretty good. That party sounds fun. I'm going to go. You let your friend know, hey, I'm on my way, and you show up and you have a great time. But instead of saying, yes, I'll go, had a long work week, and then you're dreading going and you're just already pissed off that you even have to be there. You show up, you're grumpy, you're not really connecting, you're tired. And then your friend's kind of like, what a jerk. Like, why'd they even come? So we could really start to honor ourselves and each other by being more truthful. So maybe this week or this holiday season, let's practice saying no to no's, yes to yeses, and let me see how that flows to things that we're not really sure about. Like we're kind of not, we're neutral. We're like, it could happen, it could not happen, and just let things flow and see if that helps you so that you don't feel like you're committed to things and then you don't really want to do them, but you do it anyway. So, any feedback from Kathy on that?
Yep, she's saying I agree. We need to be grateful every day, not just one day a year.
Absolutely. And same with Christmas. Like Christmas is really more about marketing and consumerism. And it's just like all these holidays. If you noticed how it's like this holiday, I love Christmas time, but I notice like holidays, it's like this excuse to go buy a bunch of sugar and put it into your family's bodies. I just seriously see that. Easter, go buy a shit ton of sugar, put it in your family's bodies, and then complain about how hyper your children are. Oh, it's Halloween. Go buy a shit ton of sugar, put it in your family's bodies, complain how hyper they are. Christmas, let's go buy a bunch of sugar. Do you guys see that? Is it just me? Valentine's Day, it's like any holiday, Mother's Day, buy chocolates, buy candy. And so, what if we just start to create our own traditions? This could be something where us shapeshifters that kind of see the patterns and we like some of the tradition. Like I love the holidays. I love family time. I love giving presents and like wrapping them and decorating my tree. It's so fun. But I like to do things that feel heartfelt to me and not just be caught up in what I'm told to do. And I don't watch the news or TV and all the marketing stuff, but I'll even get emails from, if I go buy something at the body shop, I get like freaking maybe 5 or 6 emails a day telling me about sales and I got to hurry and act now. And so we got to really watch how this world puts a lot of pressure on us to just act without thinking. And it's always from something we need to be enough. So, what if this holiday season we were aware that we are enough? What would we do differently? What things would we buy or not buy? What would we participate in or not participate in? This could be really powerful for our society to shift things so that We don't go, oh, we talk trash about all the people on Black Friday that are shopping and acting crazy and trying to kill each other over a toaster. But we could actually be aware and awake of why are people participating in that? And what if we just all realize there's plenty of freaking toasters to go around? And if we didn't participate in these games, they wouldn't play them. The only reason these things are presented to humanity is because humanity participates. So, really, look at your power in that. If you don't like some of the things happening, don't participate in them. You don't have to fight it, you don't have to hate it. Just don't participate. Don't go into ego. Clear it and choose a way that you'd like to recreate your holiday traditions in a way that feels more heartfelt. And you may have the most fun you've ever had because you're really coming from a place of love and gratitude and thanksgiving and the Christmas celebration of giving to others and honoring and helping. We can do this every day. Every single day, we can give to others. And how may I serve others? And every day will feel magical. Doesn't have to just be one day of the year or 2 days. So, any other feedback?
No.
Okay. I'm going to read something. I posted this on Facebook. It was a channeling I got from Archangel Ariel this week. And she came through very powerfully. And a lot of what is in this message, I've had so many clients come in this week that have really needed this message. And so I feel led to share it with all of you and do with it as you will. But this is a message that came through from Archangel Ariel this week. And in her words, it says, "It is time to awaken, beautiful souls, time to shift and observe your creations. Many amongst you have been placed very close, many amongst you have been placed very close to you, very strategically, in order to hold you back from your soul's mission and evolutionary expansion. Some amongst you call themselves friend or family, yet as you awaken from the illusion, you will see and you will know truth. Each of you must pass through your vibrational alignment with your source. Some of you refuse to shift. You refuse to listen and heal. Some of you love the darkness and you love your suffering. Be mindful if you are sharing sacred space with these beings that assist with suffering and pain. You have the power to recreate your own worlds, yet you each must choose it. For those of you, my cat is just crying to come in the room. 1 second, I'm just going to open the door. Come here. Come on. Okay, Tiger is just being vocal. For those of you that are ready to awaken, ready to heal, and realign with love as your guidance, the time is now. Have the courage to step forward now and release yourself from the bondage of procrastination and fear. Release yourselves from the enslavement of the ego. Many are awakening at this time, and many more warriors of light will join you. You must tune in every moment with greater awareness and presence, greater discernment, guiding every moment. There are many that are choosing enslavement because of roles and attachments that you feel hold power. Awaken from this illusion. You and your alignment with Source are mighty and powerful. These tools you attach yourselves to are the very anchors that, if not released, will drown you energetically and continue your journey of enslavement. Pay attention to what everyone is truly telling you. Ask questions. Ask to be shown the intention and pay attention to the vibration you feel and know in the now. Your freedom and liberation are in your own hands, and every choice you are now making is very important. Release your attachment of how you wish things were and pay attention to what is before you now. Choose your new creative thoughts from this alignment of truth. Awaken from the dream that is drugging you and numbing you and move forward into the light. Call upon us in your times of confusion and worry. Ask us for clarity and understanding, and we will surely deliver it. Open your eyes to see and your hearts to remember and know us once again. We are here in mighty numbers, though only few of you are aware of our presence. It is you that hold the key to removing the veil of darkness. Call forth the light, and you will be liberated with love, truth, and illumination. Archangel Ariel. So that was the message that I got from her and felt led to share. So, any feedback on that?
Nope.
How about you, Amnon? What do you feel about all this stuff today?
I thought that everybody behaved as though Thanksgiving is every day. Is it just me?
Well, maybe you have a lot of people around you, and that's awesome. So, if everyone does around you, good job.
No,
But does everyone behave that way? I'm thinking probably not everybody. But is it possible that we all could? Absolutely.
it's always possible. And yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And I like what you said about starting your own so-called tradition.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get ideas.
Nice. Yeah, and when you're in that meditative space, this is where you could be like, how could I create a more beautiful Thanksgiving experience and tradition? How could I create a more beautiful Christmas experience? And we can go into that place and listen and be receptive to our higher self. And the higher self will have answers and solutions and fun, creative inspiration. And then we do it and we start to shift. Each of us starts to shift in a new direction that feels more heartfelt and truthful and loving instead of just going through the motions and doing what we're supposed to do as good little, good little humans in society that need to go and participate in our part of
Yep.
buying
Mm-hmm.
and purchasing, right?
Right.
And eating all
Oh,
that damn
and,
sugar.
and
Jesus.
let's see who caller. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Cindy.
Cindy, my
I,
love, how are you?
I'm good.
Long time
I
no
agree
chat.
so much. I know. Long time no talk or see.
What did what did you say? I didn't hear what you said at first.
Nothing important. I just agree with what you're saying that this year for me is definitely going to be a shift. And I've already shared with my family, Christmas is going to be different this year because I'm tired of going out and getting in debt, and
Yes.
I don't know why, but it always just seems like they don't really appreciate it. They just come to expect it. And Thanksgiving
Yes.
is just going to be different. It's I'm thankful every day now, and it's hard to make other people think that way, but it's definitely going to be different for me, and they'll see it.
Good.
So
Good. And even realize that you can't really make other people think that way. All you can
nope,
do that's powerful is you living that shift, you living in that alignment will inspire others that are watching. And then others that aren't interested in what you're shifting, they'll just ignore you and get away from you. So either way, it's a
yeah,
win-win.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that's awesome that and what you're saying, so many humans get into debt and they spend what they don't have. That is insane. And we really, as a culture, need to wake up and take our power back because if we are barely able to pay our rent and then we feel obligated to go buy a bunch of presents because it's just the time to shop, it is the time to
Mhm.
shop. It's like robotically we
Yes,
go marching out and we get ourselves in debt and we're in panic and fear vibrationally, that is the worst thing we could do to ourselves. And then, like you say, it's like a lot of times you're giving to people who don't even appreciate it because you're attaching to role and title. You're like, it is my grandson, it is my child, I must give a present.
hmm
What if we
yep,
gave each other the gift of our actual presence this year? Like, what
yeah,
if we honored
exactly.
that?
Yes, I
Think about it.
agree.
Like you, grandma,
Yep.
being there and just playing with the grandchild and being with them and coloring, that's the gift. And, maybe you buy a
Being
coloring book and you
happy,
color
being
together.
happy.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you just say?
I said, and being happy while you're there too.
Yeah.
Just
And if you just went
being
into debt to
joyous.
buy things you don't even want to buy, you're probably not very happy when you're with them, are you?
No, waiting for them. I want them to look at it and just be so happy instead of just kind of throwing it aside and where's the next one?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
even
Yeah,
and even less happy when you're paying the bill.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Yes. And so this is where we have such a powerful opportunity as a culture to shift our own debt. Like in our country, there's a debt that's here, a deficit issue, and it's a lot of people participating in that game. So if we want to shift it, we have to each look at how we behave and how we're contributing to the problem, or are we contributing to the solution? And I really feel the gift of our presence and our honor and our love and our joy is the highest gift we can give each other. And if we have a heartfelt desire to buy a gift for someone that we love, do it, but do it from that high, aligned, heartfelt place. Like, I would love to get this. This makes me think of my sister, and I know she'd love it. that's a great thing to do if you're able to do it, because giving and receiving is a very fun energy. But if you're doing like, I don't even like my sister, she's kind of a little pain in the ass, like she's not very nice to me, but I got to get her a damn present. That's a different energy. And we really need to get out of that place where we're doing things just out of obligation and really do heartfelt. I've noticed that there's times where people will give to those out of obligation and then they have nothing left to give to the ones they really would love to. And how it's kind of like with the Sacred Soul Sisters. I remember right when we had our meetings, I was like, girls, this is new for you to come to these gatherings, and it's one day of the month. It's only for a couple hours of that day, and you need to claim this time for yourself, because if you don't, you will give it away. And right away, a couple of the girls struggled and wrote me, "Oh, Tawnya, I really want to come, but my husband had to go to a gun show and he wanted me to go with him, and I had to go." And I didn't mind that they didn't come to my event, but what I challenged them on was, "Wait a minute. This is exactly what you do that sabotages your joy. You did not want to go to a gun show and you chose to go, and now you're complaining, but you chose it. So if you really don't want to go to that, you need to speak your truth and tell your husband, 'Hey, I love you. Have fun at the gun show, and I'm going to go have fun with my soul sisters, and we'll see each other later for dinner.'" And then you would feel in your power. So we got to really start to honor where we're giving away what we don't want to give away, right?
Yes, yes, most
Can I
definitely.
get an amen?
Amen.
Woo, amen. That was perfect. So I feel like whoever's listening, like we could all have such a power together if we join our forces, and we could really start to change the focus of the holiday seasons as a collective. We could change the focus to being about love and honor and play and singing and family time if we want to, or we could just continue to just feed into the corruption and the enslavement of a system of buying shit and going into debt. If you want to buy things, like I love buying my family things, I love when they buy me gifts, but we do it from what we really have to spend. And like Ron
Yeah,
spends a lot of money on housing things, and then I have money as a healer where I can have the money to buy family gifts and things. So it works for us, but we have to look at what works for us in each of our situations and where we are today. Like some of us maybe like last year at this time, oh, actually, it was not last year, year before last, when I left my marriage and I was on my own, didn't really have a lot of money to be spending. And so that was a different kind of experience. But, it's going to ebb and flow in your creation of when you have the money to give out. And then there's times where we're on the receiving end, where we're needing to be more open to receive. So we need to be very conscious of that flow. And I'm
yeah.
so sorry if anybody that owns businesses is watching and they're pissed at me for speaking truth, but someone had to say it. Someone had to
Yep.
liberate them. What's that?
I said I agree.
Yes, we need to take our power back. So, did you want a reading today, my love?
Yes, please.
I got angel, divine guidance, or animal totem cards. What would you
How
like to?
about animal totem?
Animal totems? Okay.
Yeah.
All righty, just a sec. Gotta move this over very carefully because my cord, I do not want to let it come out of the computer because Amnon will be mad at me.
You don't want that.
We don't want Amnon being mad.
No, you don't.
All right. Let's see. Even though we all know Amnon's just a big sweetie over there behind the scenes. Really? All right, so let me tune in here and get you a card, Cindy. So Amnon, talk to Cindy for a minute on your feedback of her comments, and I'm going to pick a card.
All right. Oh, before I thought that Kathy was saying I agree we need to be grateful every day. It was Cindy.
Oh.
That's right. And she did not correct me.
Well, Kathy probably thinks it too.
Yep, I agree.
Kathy probably sitting there saying, I did not say that.
She's like, Amnon, you are a liar. You do
Yeah.
not have integrity. No, she probably didn't say that. So here's the
No,
card I
she
drew.
wouldn't.
It's the gecko,
Oh,
and the keywords are synchronicity, optimism, truth, and mobility. And so I'm going to read you the message. It says the tribe comes together to make ready for a journey. Oh, that's so interesting because we were just talking today about our healing retreats, weren't we, Cindy?
yes,
Kind of interesting, huh? To
yes.
follow the rising sun to new lands and new people.
Oh,
Those, yeah, those most worthy are chosen to row the great Wakalua, or the double canoe, beyond the waves into the ocean blue. And you know where geckos are, don't you?
yeah.
California and Hawaii.
Oh,
Which is exactly where her and I were talking about doing our first healing retreats that we're planning. In the ceremony of sacred fire, silence is broken by the chirp of a tiny gecko. Warriors and elders grin in acknowledgement. The voice of good fortune has sung into the night. This journey is very blessed. Woohoo! Geckos
woohoo
are
is right.
small. Yes. Isn't that awesome?
It
Geckos are
is.
small, highly adaptable lizards found in warm climates throughout the world. They have transparent eyelids that never blink. Their skin changes color to blend into the environment, and their sticky toes climb walls, ceilings, and smooth surfaces with great ease. When I lived in Guam, one of them fell off the ceiling into my pajama top. Not a good moment. Nocturnal beings drawn to the light, they are honored by many indigenous cultures as the dream keepers, shapeshifters, and a sign of good luck. As the grand totem up to the native people of New Caledonia, Gecko is embraced as the great ancestral spirit to tribes of the Pacific and beyond. In many ways, Gecko is different to other lizards, but perhaps the quality that distinguishes Gecko most from the rest of the lizard family is its intricate communication and the chirping sound of its voice. To the people of Hawaii, this special call is a chime of synchronicity, affirming the high truth and spiritual significance of the moment. The message: when Gecko perches in your presence, this is an auspicious moment indeed. Smile and expect great things, the best things. How would you move forward from this moment if you knew you were blessed and would succeed? If you knew in your heart of hearts that whatever you committed to would triumphantly succeed? Oh yeah, girl. Sometimes we sometimes we have unique thoughts and special ideas. Sometimes inspiration comes in the blink of an eye, and as we drive down the road, walk in the trees, or stand in a shower. Sometimes an idea may come that seems unrealistic or slightly beyond normal rationale, but it feels somehow exciting, expansive, and inclusive. This is my life every day. Often, our thinking mind is quick to follow with questions, doubts, or concerns. Ego, enter the ego. Oh, you couldn't do that. If we are not careful, within just a few moments, a perfectly magical idea of inspiration can be squashed into nothing and swept out the door. The message of Gecko is to trust in the magic of inspired moments as doorways to future reality. Don't let critical thoughts cloud your perception of the miracles that may be ready to unfold within you now. Many of the best things in your life were created in ways that we could not have previously imagined. Similarly, much that awaits to greet us on the path ahead may unfold in ways beyond our current understanding. The way to judge the validity of an impulse is not whether it seems realistic, but whether it feels good in your being. So, you know how when we're talking about retreats and you're like, it just makes me feel excited and happy. That is
Mhm.
confirmation that that is inspiration, means you are in spirit. Spirit is speaking through and saying, yes, this is the direction. So, trust that.
I'll trust it.
Da-da-da-dum. Does the idea make you smile? If the impulse stirs
Yeah.
energy in your belly and allows you to breathe a little fuller, then hold it in your heart long enough for it to grow. It is sometimes hard to comprehend, but there really are no limits to the blessings that this life can hold for you. We really live in infinite possibilities, but because we've been taught limitation, we keep ourselves back from our expansion so much. So that's something that as we clear ego, we will really start to play in the infinite land of we'll start to play in the land of infinite possibilities, and that's way more fun. Okay, within every moment, every decision, every action, every journey, there is an opportunity to choose the path of positivity, light, and gratitude. Gecko guides you there by simply asking what feels most light in this moment? What feels most exciting? What makes your heart smile? Let this be a starting place for your auspicious, I cannot talk today, for your auspicious journey to begin. And then here's your affirmation if you want to write it down. I open
Okay.
myself to the magic of this moment. I listen to the call of light. I trust the inspiration that flows to me now, and I follow it. And I'll say that again. I open myself to the magic of this moment. I listen to the call of light. I trust the inspiration that flows to me now, and I follow it. Isn't
Can't
that
write that
awesome?
fast.
What'd you
It
say?
is. I said I can't write that fast.
Oh, it's okay. Did you get it all, or do you want me to say it again?
Yeah, say it one more time.
How far did you get? I open myself to the magic of this moment. I listen to the
Got
call
that.
of light.
Got that.
I trust the inspiration that flows to me now.
Okay, hold on. That flows through me now?
That flows to me now, and I follow it.
Okay.
And it's all about
Okay.
that. Like we got to get to this place where we let the magic come to us. We let spirit touch us with inspiration, and then we trust it, and then we flow with it. Because it's all about flow. Sometimes we'll get feelings and excited, and then we sit on our butt and we procrastinate and go into fear about it. That's not the best choice. So vibrationally,
No.
like today, Cindy and I were talking in yoga training, and we were already planning, and I was planning with my other soul sister, Janique, yesterday, and we're pulling the energy together, and we're setting a clear intention to start our healing retreats. The first one that I'm planning is probably going to come in spring. It'll be local for people local, or if you live far away and you want to save for it and come, it'll be the Empowering of the Empath Transformational Healing Retreat. And the first one I'm feeling will be in Cannon Beach on the ocean, on the coast in Oregon. And then we're planning one for next fall, either end of summer or fall, in Coronado, San Diego. And then my next goal is to manifest maybe a year from now in Hawaii, either Maui or Kauai. So if those things sound fun to you and you would love to come on a healing retreat for a week of empowerment with empowering women and just come in one way and leave a completely more aligned, awesome being, then I encourage you to start saving your money, claiming the space, and contact me. You can go to TanyaAngel555.com or email me at TanyaAngel@gmail.com, and just let me know that you're interested. I'll get you on a list, and then we can keep you in the loop as far as cost and everything for the event. So we are going to take our magic out into the world, aren't we, Cindy?
Yes, we are. I'm
Woohoo!
excited.
And maybe even Kathy and Amnon will join us. We'll just see vibrationally. That could be fun times.
Yeah, we can join vibrationally.
Oh, not
Yep.
realistically? Come on, Amnon. You don't want to go to Hawaii?
I would love to, but I can't leave.
Oh, I bet you we could manifest some way that someone could run that place for a week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll work on that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. That was a fun show. And I hope that you can watch this one a few times because it's going to take you practice to consciously step out of ego enslavement. It is going to take a lot of awareness and practice. So if you get discouraged because you got triggered by ego, try to quickly get out of that place of discouragement because ego will seduce you there because it loves to help you suffer. So keep practicing. Go and set up sessions with intuitive healers you trust. Go to meditation and yoga classes and practice cultivating this awareness. And then, not just on your mat, but take it out into the world in your moving meditation. Cultivate a sense of gratitude, honor, and presence wherever you go. And I promise you, your life will become so blissful and magical. You will just be shouting from the rooftops. You'll be on Facebook like me, like, I love my freaking life. I'm always saying that. And it's because I love my freaking life and I love the clients that I have. I love the honor and the beauty. And I have the most amazing clients that are soul family and friends. Like, none of my clients do I consider not a friend. And so we can really start to draw this into our lives, no matter what we're doing as a living, because of our vibrational shift and alignment. So I wish you guys all the best this holiday season, and may you have the most blessed Thanksgiving. And I am so very grateful for each and every one of you. I'm grateful for those of you that share my posts, that go on and follow me on YouTube, that come and work with me as a healer, that trust me and honor me with your grace and kindness. And I thank you all so much for taking time from your sacred Sunday to connect with us. So namaste and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCBVI members, The Tawnya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.